Welcome back. In a pattern over the last 2 decades, NOAA says climate change, including extreme heat, drought, and a thirsty atmosphere, has been a key driver in increasing the risk of wildfires in the U.S.
Yes, but we've got hope on the horizon. An inventor, volunteer firefighter, and pyrotechnics expert is creating these mini hurricanes to fight the flames. So to share more about what he says is the secret to fighting wildfires, we want to bring in Steve Wolf, CEO of Team Wildfire, hurricane maker himself. Steve, thanks so much for being with us. We really appreciate it. We want to jump right into it. What is that secret to fighting wildfires, and how have you figured out how to do it?
Well, my understanding from my own experience and speaking with other firefighters is that the wind owns the fire. And that if you wanted to own the fire, you would have to own the wind. And that means you're going to have to use some pretty cool technology to figure out how you're going to get the wind to do what you want it to do.
All right, so let's talk about that technology. Is that Team Wildfire? Is that what you're alluding to? That rig that we show is pretty cool.
Yeah, so Team Wildfire's technology is based on the idea of using jet engines to be the dominant wind force in any microenvironment. So if you've got, what they call adverse winds, which are winds that drive fire towards you, driving a fire towards you at 20 miles an hour, and you fight back with a jet engine like this, coming in at 200 miles an hour, you're going to bend those flame tips back and push the fire back on the area that's already been burned. And that's going to deny the fire the opportunity to advance in the direction of fresh fuel.
Makes very good sense.
Now, how can you battle Mother Nature? When you're talking about these huge wildfires, size, I mean, that fire line could be hundreds of miles. So do you have multiple machines that could all park along the front lines and blow it back?
That is the idea, that you have as many machines as it takes to push it back. Although you have to acknowledge, right, if you have 1,000 miles of fire, you're not going to be able to attack that all at once. But what we can do is we can focus on the parts of the fire that are threatening our values at risk. And that means basically anything that you're going to have to write a check to replace, whether that would be a human life, a home, a hospital, a nuclear plant. These are the things where we're going to focus the counter winds to blow back the fire. And yes, some trees will be lost, and that's inevitable. That's always been the case, however. I mean, we've always had wildfire, but what we're trying to do is reduce the destructive force of wildfire.
All right, you have a background of Hollywood special effects, and we can see behind you have a lot of cool gadgets and gizmos, if you will. So how did being a Hollywood special effects coordinator actually help you in this venture?
Well, I worked for Tom Cruise and James Cameron and blew stuff up and made rain and wind and snow and all types of atmospheric effects, because atmospherics is a huge section of the special effects world. So when I was speaking with firefighters and asking them, like, what would it take to get these fires under control? And they said it would take a hurricane. I said, I'll be right back. And went back with my special effects crew and some fire chiefs. And we started Team Wildfire, basically bringing this special effects technology to use for firefighters, giving them exactly what they wanted, a hurricane to push back wildfires.
Cool.
So if we use jet engines and mist injection chambers, we can actually blow retardant back at the fire at hundreds of miles an hour, and very disruptive.
Got it. Okay, so you're testing this in the Hollywood field. Have you tested this in real life yet, or will you? Is there a plan to? What's the plan going forward?
So we've tested this at the Boulder Fire Department, and we found that we're able to put out fire with less water and less time than using traditional methods. And time is always, the critical factor. Can we get the fire out before it consumes another building or another neighborhood?
Well, congratulations. It sounds like it's going in the right direction. Thanks to Team Wildfire CEO Steve Wolf for joining us today.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Really cool.
Very cool. I can't wait to see this thing in action, we'll get